that down, let's move on to this, shall we? You know, we've talked a lot about the Bob Chapek era over at Disney. Now listen, when Disney first launched Disney Plus, there was clearly going to be some expectation that Marvel, one of their divisions, would create some more content so they can also populate it into Disney Plus, no doubt. Something that Bob Iger today says probably was a mistake. But after that happened, came the dark times, came the Bob Chapek era. And as we now know, as confirmed by a Marvel executive, that the mandate under Bob Chapek was clear. Create as much as you can, as fast as you can. Go. And then he created a new layer of management headed by a friend of Bob Chapek's, a banker, and put him in charge of most of the stuff that Marvel was going to do, and stripped away a lot of Kevin Feige's ability and power, and just gave them this massive mandate. Produce, spit it out, keep going. No, we need time to, no. Just crank it out. And now, James Gunn, who was obviously over at Marvel for a while and is friends with Kevin Feige, he's saying that's kind of what killed them. Not that Marvel's dead, it's not, but it killed all that momentum they had, man. It killed the winning streak, and it kind of put them into the place that they're at now, which is still not bad, but not nearly as good as it used to be. Anyway, this is in Variety. James Gunn said the following: that wasn't fair, the whole produce as much as you can, as fast as you can nonsense. It wasn't right, and it killed them, James Gunn said of Marvel. We don't have the mandate at DC to have certain amount of movies and TV shows every year. So we're going to put out everything that we think is of the highest quality. We're obviously going to do some good things and some not so good things. I'm glad he's self-aware of that. We're going to do some good things. We're going to do some not so good things. But hopefully on average, everything will be as high quality as possible. Nothing goes before there's a screenplay that I am personally happy with. So, a couple of interesting things we learned. Number one is that, him saying that, like, that's what stopped the streak. That's what killed their insane, unstoppable momentum, was these quotas, these production level quotas that Disney started to pass down to them and didn't give them an option to say no. And so that's what killed them. But the second thing is this, because I've wondered about this. James Gunn says earlier in the interview, Warner Brothers, our parent company, gives us zero mandates as far as how much we're supposed to produce this year, what we produce, where we put it. They've given us nothing except go make the best stuff you can. That's the only mandate they've given James Gunn. They haven't said, hey, listen, we really need Warner, we need DC up and running. We need to have 4 movies a year. We need to have two HBO Max series. James Gunn says they've given us nothing. We just tell them when we've got a movie we think we're ready to go on, they say, awesome, go. Which is actually the right way to approach it. Anyway, Rob, you read his comments. What are some of the things that are standing out to you?
Well, I mean, I think, again, it's exactly what I want to hear. It's exactly what I think that he should be doing. And the thing is, if their goal going in is, like he says right in this quote you showed, it has to be a script I personally am happy with. One of the things that Hollywood used to have is Mavericks. You had studio heads that were the Louis B. Mayers, that they were in charge, and they were the ones that were, whether it was coming from their gut, I mean, they were making decisions. And to me, it sounds like James Gunn is a mogul of the days of yore, where he's like, I'm not moving forward until it's a script that I am happy with. His job, Peter Safran's in charge of the money. James Gunn's like, you know what? I know best. I wish everybody who was running IPs, and I think what happened with Marvel, he's absolutely right. And Marvel did this not just to the MCU, but to Star Wars as well. They wanted to start a streaming service, and then they were going to rely on Star Wars and Marvel to build their entire streaming service. They had other things like that Jeff Goldblum show that was actually kind of fun, but they didn't have enough. You interrupted the flow. I mean, whether Marvel was making 2 or 3 or 4 things a year, they had a plan. And then suddenly you have to, like, I always equated it to when they would do a limited miniseries, like a 4-issue limited series about like one of the X-Men. Right. It could be a good show, or it could be a good series, or you would introduce a great new character like Longshot. I remember there was a 6-issue Longshot miniseries, or there was a great Punisher miniseries that was going to be 4 issues, but it went to 5. And they had a good story, but it was kind of self-contained. But yet Marvel still was forced to incorporate everything they did with the rest. And it wasn't until we got things like Werewolf by Night and we got the Guardians Christmas special. The Guardians Christmas special, it was tied into Guardians. But if you only ever seen one Guardians movie or 2 Guardians movies, you could watch that Christmas special and get it. You could understand what was going on. And if that was the mandate, it was like on home video when they would put out those like 15-minute Marvel shorts, or they did the one where Thor was living with his roommate.
That stuff was awesome.
It was
the Thor roommate stuff was great.
You know, and you could, those things stood alone. You know, you could have done that, but because they were supposed to be tied in, and that in itself, suddenly you already have a limited schedule and limited time, and you have to force those into these giant $250 million movies that you're making that lead into Avengers films. It's all supposed to work. And then it's like, oh, we have a pandemic, so now we have to rewrite our storyline because it was dealing with a weaponized bacteria or something in Falcon and Winter Soldier or Captain America and Winter Soldier. It was Falcon and Winter Soldier. We have to change our plot because of the real world, you know, and that was another thing they had to deal with, or changing stuff around. It was really, Gunn is absolutely right here. Absolutely right. And it's really sad to hear because it showed that Bob Chapek, once again, Hollywood, well, with this, it's the same thing that happened to Zack Snyder. They're making money with Avengers movies. Now we have to make a movie not just with Superman, but with Batman and Wonder Woman, and we're going to call it Dawn of Justice. I mean, nobody wants to take time anymore, and time is where Marvel made its money. They planned. They had their visual design team designing action sequences. And so you had 23 movies in the Infinity Saga that worked. And now suddenly we have to make 3 or 4 shows a year. That was a decision that was made on high when no one's thinking about, you know, we have to make good shows.
Yeah. Yeah, it's not just put out whatever crap and well, no, but you continuously start putting out crap, people start to waver.
You know, any brand, if you have a Tiffany brand, which is like the MCU, if suddenly your jewelry designers are making lame jewelry for Tiffany, then people are like, I'm not going to Tiffany anymore. No more powder blue box and white ribbon for me. That's what happened to the MCU. It was suddenly like, it doesn't matter what we make. It's just MCU. It's going to make money. That's the problem with corporate thinking and storytellers. It's story as old as time. Doesn't work.
Anyway, guys, we want to take a second to thank a sponsor of today's video, Stitch Fix. Guys, you know I love movies, but you also know I have absolutely no fashion sense, and I absolutely hate shopping for my clothes. But thankfully, I have found a better way. Stitch Fix online personal styling makes it easy. With Stitch Fix, I get a stylist who understands my style, size, and budget, and they do all the shopping for me. Because look, shopping and figuring out style can be overwhelming, especially for somebody like me. When it comes to getting dressed, I don't even know where to start, to be honest. That's why I love having a Stitch Fix stylist. They really know what works for me. I get pieces that make me look great, and it's a real confidence boost. You just give your stylist your size, style, and budget preferences. You get to order boxes when you want and how you want, no subscription required. They send you personalized pieces, and the fit is always on point. No stores, no crowds, no stress. Just personalized looks that you will love. So guys, make style easy. Get started today at stitchfix.com/Campea. That's stitchfix.com/Campea. Question is for you. What do you think about this? James Gunn is saying the thing that killed Marvel's momentum is the fact that they started getting all these production quotas from Disney being passed down to them. And also he's saying that Warner Brothers gives them nothing, no kinds of mandates that they have to have X number of projects out a year, either on HBO Max or in screens and cinemas. They're probably going to make as much as they can, as long as it can be to the quality that they want it to be. And they're not going to make stuff that's subpar. But anyway, whatever you guys think about this, jump down to the comments section below and let us know your thoughts. Hey guys, thanks so much for watching this video. Make sure you like the video, leave a comment, and subscribe to our channel. And don't forget, we have a daily podcast called the John Campea Show podcast, available on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or your favorite podcasting app of choice. Go and subscribe to it today so it'll be there when you need it.